Hey everybody, Michael from TDZGamers here, and today I'm here with some World versus World and Guild Wars 2. Now, with MMOs coming out left and right nowadays, this is one of the things I think that Guild Wars 2 has that sets it apart from the rest. Now, what this video or videos, depending on how long I end up making it, is what I'm trying to do here is explain the basics of what World v World is. World. Now, there's two ways to get here. When you go to Lion's Arch if you go to Lion's Arch in the world, the southern part of it has teleporters that'll take you to different areas of World v World. Those parts being the Eternal Battlegrounds, depending on what worlds you're facing, they'll be named something different, but for me, they're Saros Furnace Borderlands, Yak's Bend Borderlands, and Dragonbrand Borderlands. Now, you saw a bunch of symbols on there, but I'll explain what those are in a second. Or the other way you can access World v World is simply by pressing B, which is the standard hotkey, and it'll take you to the World vs. World Stats and Bonuses tab. And right here where it says counting down, time until next point tally, that will say go to World vs. World, and then you choose where you want to go. Now, since I'm already here, I'm going to go ahead and explain this. This is the point tally for each one of the worlds. Now, as you get more points, your world gains bonuses. As Artisan, Energetic, Scavenger, Robust, Gatherer, Defender, Wisdom, and Medic. Each one of those things, they're not massive bonuses, so I don't think they're overpowered, but the more points you get, the more of these you get for your world. Points are earned by simply owning parts, as you can see, potential points, because we own 1 castle, 9 keeps, 20 towers, and 17 camps. Now, my world tends to be very good at World v World, so it's kind of be hard to find a place to contest, but like fight and show you some of the combat. But as you can see, it has a little pie chart here as well that it shows the control of the map. We control most everything, and we're winning up here too. Well, that's pretty much the basics with points. Now, when you spawn, you always come up in one of these places. As you can see, Dragonbrand Hill, this one, there should be another, Saros Furnace Hill. What these places do is, it's where you spawn. And when you spawn, you have a couple of things around you. You've got teleports that take you to the other 3 zones, like the Borderlands. I'm in the Eternal Battlegrounds, and they'll take you to the Borderlands. There's also the Guild Registrar, Guild Weaponsmith, Guild Armorer, and Trading Post. Oh, Trading Post, the Trading Post, I mean, that's kind of obvious, but Guild Weaponsmith and Guild Armorer get you guild weapons that have your symbol, and Guild Armor that has your symbol. Guild Registrar to register a guild. Here are some people you can buy equipment from. They're called it's called Invader Gear. Invader Apprentice Gear, yeah. You can get this stuff with Karma, level 40, level 20, level 60. You can get it also with Badges of Honor. I believe that's what they were called. I don't think I have any on me. Yes, I do. Badges of Honor. Badges of Honor you get by looting enemies. As far as I know, that's the only way to get Badges of Honor. And there's also another one here that has weapons. Now, over here, we have Weaponsmith, Armorsmith, and Repairs. Just like in most MMOs, the Weaponsmiths and Armorsmiths in these games, in this game, aren't really worth crap, because they give you whites, and those aren't even any good. But I guess you could sell your stuff to them. You also have a repair. I'm already fully repaired, but there's a person who come to repair all your gear. And over here, the more interesting part, we have a merchant that sells the basics that most merchants do, and pretty much everywhere. You got the gathering materials and some salvage kits and some leather bags. But over here, we have a siege merchant. Over here, you can actually buy the siege blueprints, flame ram, used to construct a flame ram build site. The flame ram's primary function is to deal heavy damage to the gates, unable to damage walls. These are all used to sort of help assist you as you attack. You'll need supply to do that, and I'll explain what supply is in just a minute. You have the arrow cart, used to construct an arrow cart build site. The arrow cart's primary function is to deal moderate area damage to infantry. The ballista, used to construct a ballista build site. The ballista's primary function is to deal heavy damage to target and siege equipment and infantry. Just heavy single target damage. Catapult, the catapult's primary function is to deal heavy area damage to walls and moderate damage to gates. Trebuchet, Trebuchet's primary function is deal heavy area damage to walls or moderate damage to gates, which is pretty much the same, although this actually has little over, it's a little bit more than little over, but 2 times the range. The Trebuchet has a massive range. And then they have the Alpha Siege Golem. Construct a Alpha Siege Golem site, and its primary function is deal heavy damage to gates. And it's also the only movable siege weapon. So that's always nice to have. You can actually have it move with you. And over here we have a retrainer. They're for traits. Traits are gained as you level up. You add them to these little trees, and as you reach a certain point, you unlock new bonuses, and you can select a bonus every 10 levels you add to it. So, and yes, I know I have 2 unspent ones. It's just I'm poor and I can't afford the trainer book, but nonetheless. Oh, another thing here, while you're inside your little spawn, you actually have the buff Determined. Determined to survive and immune to damage. You cannot take damage while inside this area. So it's sort of like, in case they capture everything and start oop, I'm gonna fall and probably, nope, I didn't die. Well, instead of pushing you all the way up to your base and then making it so no one can spawn, because see, as you can see, we own everything in the Dragon Brand Borderlands, and almost everything in, oh no, we do own everything in the Battlegrounds except for some sentries. But we cannot capture these places, because that's where they spawn. So it says contested because it's under enemy control and not mine, so I can't spawn over there. But basically, it's just so they don't get pushed out completely to the point where they're not even in the game anymore. And now, since I'm actually at the map, I'll show you what some of this is. In WvWvW, there's a couple of different buildings you can capture, four different places, things you can capture. One of which being the castle, worth the most points. I'm unaware actually what the point system, how many points it's worth, but it's worth the most points, and there's only one in the entire game. There's no more castles. There's only the one castle, Stone Mist Castle. It's very difficult to capture. Two walls, and people are always fortifying it just to the max, and carries a lot of supplies. Supplies can be found. All right, I'll go back to supplies in just a minute. The next one down we have are keeps. Keeps are worth the second most points. They are difficult to capture again. Not nearly as difficult as the castle, I believe. It says green keep, but it's the castle. I don't know why. It's the only castle. But green keeps. Wow, keeps are very difficult to capture. There's less of them, but they're worth more points. You then have towers, which can be found just along roads all the time. They're worth the second lowest or third most points. They tend to change ownership very often. So they're not usually as fortified, but when you own everything like we do right now, they can tend to be fortified a lot. And then we have camps. Camps are what all the supplies come from. Supplies can be used. You can carry up to 10 on you, and they're used to build siege equipment or upgrade walls or build defensive structures inside your buildings, and it's very nice. And when what people usually do is they'll capture. Oh, now we're under attack over there. They'll capture all of the camps and limit supply. And when you have limited supply, you can't repair your walls or gates. So it's always a good thing to capture those first. And there's also little sentry points. I'm unaware if they're worth any points actually, although they're sentries, so it's nice to have them because it lets you know when there's an enemy moving towards you. Because when an enemy is moving towards you, they'll capture the aggro of the sentry. It's usually only one guy, but when they have aggro of the sentry, it tells you that you're under attack over here. And then there's these little things that a little bit strange. We have you can't really see this one over here because we don't own it. But over here, we own something called the Ogre Camp. They're symboled by 2 axes. The axes are these little things. Oh, there's another one over here, the Dredge Camp. These camps are full of NPCs, and when you capture them, they're friendly to you, and they'll send out strike squads or help defend people when they come nearby. we're under attack here. But see, if the enemy had captured this camp, say, the ogres would actually send ogres to constantly attack this area, making it very difficult to hold on to. So you usually want to get rid of these guys, because they're not weak, for sure. As you can see, we've got... the enemy has a couple of scouts in our area, but... our area... this isn't even our area, it's the Eternal Battlegrounds, we own all of it. I think that is it for area, like, I don't know what they're called. I'm sorry, my mind's drawing a blank right now. I think that's it for things on the map. But... and each area is different. I mean, these places are... actually, wow, they're actually exactly similar. I did not notice that. They're all completely similar. Not similar, they're completely the same. And then the Eternal Battlegrounds is different. Each zone being a little bit different. Okay, so that's the basics of the map. And, of course, in PvP, in WvWvW, there's also... in WvWvW, there's also PvE as well as PvP. PvE, there's some PvE, including some bosses, there's not really a lot, it's mainly PvP, and people get kind of mad at you when you do PvE, but there is some PvE, like the giant grub worm that spawns in the Eternal Battlegrounds that I fought earlier, and he dropped some, I believe he dropped Badges of Honor, which was nice, 5 for me, but I need a lot of Badges of Honor if I want to get anything with that stuff. And another thing I want to bring up, actually, as for experience for WvWvW, WvWvW, you gain experience. You can gain experience actually from defending this little supply caravan. People used to grind that, and it would... I don't know if they fixed it or not, but people would just sit here and just follow the pack caravan until it got to the place, and they'd get a free, I don't know, I think it was like 1,000 experience, which was a decent... it was probably the fastest way to level at that point, I think, because it's like every minute and 40 seconds you'd go find a new one. You also gain experience for capturing and defending areas. Defending areas is actually different, because the longer you defend them, the more experience you get, because I think it's like every 4 minutes they don't capture it, you gain points, you gain experience. Now I'm going to go over a few of the basics while I walk around here to, maybe just show you around what the WvWvW is like, so it's not just like, it's not like it's just paths. But in WvWvW, you want to always have supply on you, always have max supply, because when people put up siege equipment, it's costing them money, and if you're like me, you're poor all the time, so you can't really do that. But people spend money on that stuff, and you want to build it, and it helps you capture places so much faster. Although, the one thing you want to do is you never want to take supplies from towers, keeps, or the castle. Those places need the supply, and it's not so bad if it's only 1 or 2 people, but it's not so bad if it's only 1 or 2 people taking the supply, but when there's a lot of people taking supply from towers and camps, they need all of that supply. There's a little thing in here I have to find real quick. There you go. They need all that supply, and when you take it, it could be pretty bad. Oh, here's... we're coming up on the dredge, I believe. Oh no, they're up here. But because they're friendly with us, this thing isn't going to hurt us, which is kind of nice. The dredge are like mole people. They're kind of strange, but... yeah, as for supplies, always just try and keep 10 supply on you. Try not to take it from castles and keeps, and you should be fine. As for attack plans and strategies, you never... it tends to be more of a... people tend to get mad at you if you just kind of zerg an area. There's another dredge turret. See, if you help the dredge, they help you a lot. People get mad at you if you just get a big group and zerg and just blow up everything on your path, because you want to defend those areas. It doesn't matter if you capture a bunch of places. If there's another team capturing right behind you, it's not like you're doing any good. So you want to defend those areas, and usually when matches are more even, unlike this one right now, things tend to be very difficult to capture because people know they have to defend. And you'd be surprised how much upgrading the gate, or adding a catapult to the wall or something, that you'll be surprised how helpful that is to defending the keep. Defending keeps in the first place is very, very, very Defending keeps in the first place can be very easy, I think, because I've never lost one before, although I know attacking it I've lost a lot. It can be very difficult. But I'm going to go find some combat and show you some of the combat around. I'm actually in the castle, which is really cool. And I have a couple more things I want to talk about, but I'll come back once I find some combat to do.